I've been to the year 3000. Not much has changed, but they live underwater. And your great granddaughter is doing fine. Hello everyone, my name is Elspeth. This is the Planeswalker Pantheon. Today, we are opening up an entire booster box of Time Spiral Remastered. This is the first time they've actually bought a remastered set to Paper Magic. The concept of remastered sets is actually pretty common in arena. Like if you look at Time Spiral, like all the like the block remaster sets they used to bring sets like Armenket and Kaladesh back to Arena after it was taken off from Arena the initial time. But this is the first time they've actually done a remastered set in paper. For those who aren't familiar with what a remastered set is, it's basically when they reprint an entire block back into Magic and they sort of reimagine it. They add new cards in, they take some cards out that they think may or may not be better for the draft format. Anyways, enough about that. Let's get into it. Now, this is kind of interesting because in this set, there are new cards with the old border. We are talking the old, pre-8th edition border here. But we'll get to those when we see them. Alright, let's get this pack going. Alright, let's go with this first one. And there's... So we'll see some familiar stuff here, and we'll even see some new stuff. So we've got Slivers, we've got Storm, things aren't in colours, we've got Madness, we've got things that aren't in colours that they normally should be, Shadows here. Alright, our first uncommon is Dread Return, which I love being a Dredge player. Second uncommon is Yavimaya Dryad. Third uncommon is Shivan Meteor. And our first rare is Greater Gargadon. So for 9 and a red, you get a creature beast. You can suspend it for 10 for a single red. Sacrifice an artifact, creature, or land. Remove a time counter from the Gargadon. Activate its ability if only Greater Gargadon suspended. What suspend is, it's an old mechanic where you exile it with a certain amount of time counters, in this case 10. At the beginning of your upkeep, you take one off, and when it hits 0, it comes into play. It has haste if it's a creature, and you just swing in. And our first old border card is Dreadhorde Arcanist, which is a really neat one. Some of these cards look really neat in the old frame, and I can't wait to sort of show these off. Alright, and we got a 2/4 Black Spider token. Alright. So, I wasn't around for the original Time Spiral box, so all of these cards are actually even brand new, even for me. Unless they're printed like an old master sets. Riftbolt is nice if you play Burn in Modern. Duskrider Peregrine is our first uncommon. Second uncommon is Scrib Ranger. Our third uncommon is Fungal Reaches. And our rare is Boom Bust, which was part of an old Modern deck. So for Boom, you get it's a 1 in a red sorcery. Destroy target land you control and target land you don't control. And Bust is for 5 in a red. You get a sorcery and you destroy all lands. And our time-shifted card is Leveler. Because there's no real rarity, I could read these out, but because there's no real rarity, I can just sort of show them off. But we're familiar with Dreadhorde Arcanist. Leveler basically says it exiles all cards from your library. It's a 5-mana 10/10 when it enters. Alright. Slivers are back. Weird Old Charms. Rebels is back. We've got Brine Elemental as our first uncommon, which is the part of the Pickles combo. Scrib Ranger, Stronghold Rats, and our rare is Vesuvian Shapeshifter. So for 3 and 2 blue, you get a creature shapeshifter. It's a 0/0. When it enters the battlefield or is turned face up, you may choose another creature on the battlefield. If you do, until it's turned face down, it becomes a copy of that creature, except it has the beginning of your upkeep. You may turn this creature face down, and it also has Morph. So if you're familiar with the Morph mechanic from, Time Spiral block, but also more recently Khans, you know what this does. Oh, and we've got a Time of Need. Search your library for a legendary creature card, reveal and put in your hand. Okay, so it's a legendary tutor. And a Black Knight token with protection from white and haste, and there's 2/2 and flanking. It'd be interesting to see what card makes that thing. So yeah, I'm sort of discovering some new stuff for myself as well. Alright, so we've got our commons. Reality Acid, I believe, is a part of a combo in Pauper. I could be wrong. Thallids are back. Fathom Seer. Alright, so our first uncommon is Premature Burial. Physis is our second uncommon. Third uncommon is Necrotic Sliver. And our rare is Heartwood Storyteller. So for 1 and 2 green, you get a creature tree folk. When a player casts a non-creature spell, each of that player's opponents may draw a card. And we've got a Vandal Blast in the old frame there, which looks really cool. Oh, and we've got our foil rare for the box, which is Drownu Lich Lord. So for 3, a blue and a black, you get a legendary creature zombie wizards is 3/3. If damage would be dealt to Drownu Lich Lord, sacrifice that many opponents instead. And you can tap to have target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gain flashback until end of turn. The flashback is equal to its mana cost. So that's pretty neat. And we've got a Kobold. Of course, because Kirkheap, I believe, is from this set. Alright, that one ripped really nicely. Alright, so again, back to our commons. Alright, first uncommon is Henchfiend of Ukor. Second uncommon is Chalcedon. Third uncommon is Poultice Sliver. And our rare is Sudden Spoiling. So for 1 and 2 black, you get an instant with split second. Until end of turn, creatures target play controls loses all abilities and have base power and toughness 0-2. Split second was a mechanic where if as long as it was on the spec, it couldn't be responded to. Oh, and we've got Sanguine Bond in the old frame. Some of these cards actually just suit. And we've got an Insect Token with Shroud. Some of these newer cards just somehow suit these older frames really nicely. And I really do love it. Alright, first uncommon is Necrotic Sliver. Always love getting slivers in my packs. Rebuff the Wicked. Yes, counterspells do exist in white. Wipe Away. And our rare is Rada Heir to Keld. So for 2 and a green, you get a legendary creature Elf Warrior. It's a 2/2. Whenever Rada Heir to Keld attacks me, you may add 2 red. You can tap it for green. This is actually the original, I believe, Rada before we saw her. Team of Battle Rage in the old frame, which looks really cool. And we got a foil Magus of the Moon, sorry, with some sweet new art. So, Magus of the Moon, if you play Modern, you know what this guy does. For 2 and a red, you get a creature human wizards, a 2/2. Non-basic lands are mountains. So yeah, that's a good foil normal card, actually, I should say, for this box. Alright. Let's go through our commons. Search for Tomorrow with some new art. They've actually reimagined some of the old cards with some sweet new artwork. Primal Force Mage is our first uncommon. Second uncommon is a Paradise Plume. Third uncommon is a Core Dirge. And our rare is Banalish Commander. So for 3 and a white, you get a creature human soldier. It's a Starstar. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of soldiers you control. You can suspend it for X and 2 white, but X can't be 0. Whenever a time counter is removed from Banalish Commander while it's exiled, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. We have a Vanquisher's Banner in the old frame, and we got a foil Urza's Factory. Cool. So it's a land, taps for colors, 7 mana, and tap to create a 2/2 colorless assembly worker. And we have a Metallic Sliver. Oops, put that there. Alright. Let's see here. Alright. First uncommon is Stormfront Raiders. Second uncommon is Storm Entity. Third uncommon is a Celestial Crusader. And our rare is Angel's Grace. It's unfortunate the combat that at least I don't think what's it called? That deck exists now that uses Angel Grace. I'm blanking on the name. It'll come to me later. Angel's Grace, so for a single white, you get an instant with split second. You can't lose the game this turn, and your opponents can't win the game this turn until end of turn. Damage that would reduce your life to less than 1 reduces it to 1 instead. Oh, and we've got a Harvester of Souls in that old border. Nice. And a Goblin. What is that deck? It's gonna bother me now. It'll come to me at some point. Anyways. Yep, so our first uncommon is a Yixid Jailer. Second uncommon is Salt Blast. Third uncommon is Lost Auramancers, and our rare is Nether Trader. So for 2 black, you get a creature spirit, a 1/1 with haste and shadow. Whenever another creature you control is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may play black. If you do, return Nether Trader from your graveyard to the battlefield. Oh, we got an Archer Veraska in the old form, in the old frame, and a Cloud Sprite. Living End? No, it's not Living End. Or is it Living End? I think it's Living End. No. Something is telling me that Living End is not the correct answer. I'll eventually get there. I'll probably see another card that reminds me of it. Spore Sower Thallid is our first uncommon. Smallpox is our second uncommon. We got Rough and Tumble as our third uncommon. And our rare, is Talaria West. So Talaria West, it's a land that enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap to add blue, or you can transmit it for 1 and 2 blue, where transmit was an ability where if you discard this card, you search for the library for a card with the same converted mana cost, so it basically tutors out. Oh, we got Sigil of the Empty Throne right there. Ooh, and we've got our first foil in the old frame there in Blighted Woodland. That's nice, and it's got the star in there. I hope the camera's catching it really nicely. Man, why am I still thinking it's Living End? And it's not Living End. It's like a cousin to Living End, that deck. Ad Nauseam. That's it. It's Ad Nauseam. It's part of the Ad Nauseam decks. I don't know if those decks still exist in Modern now with the banning. First uncommon is Cloudseer. Mystical Teachings is our second uncommon. Third uncommon is Cryptic Annelid. And our rare is Tombstalker. So for 6 and 2 black, you get a creature demon. It's a 5/5 with flying and delve. Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, we got Bloodbraid Elf in the old frame. That looks really cool in that old framework there. And we got a full Simian Spirit, guys. Rest in peace, little monkey. That's the card that I was thinking of that might remind me of it. Simian Spirit Guide. And Ad Nauseam. Alright, next up, we've got some Grape Shot. So Storm cared about how many spells you cast in a turn. Madness cared about whether or not you discarded. There's so many different things. Flanking was a thing that existed in this set, where if a creature without flanking was blocked by it, the creature without flanking would get -1/-1. Alright, first uncommon is Lost Auramancers again. Knight of the Holy Nimbus. Might of Old Crows, which is a nice uncommon to be seeing here. And our rare is Teferi. It's actually your first mythic. It's Teferi Mage Zelfia. So for 2 and triple blue, you get a legendary creature human wizard. 3/4 with flash. Cards you own that aren't on the battlefield have flash. Each opponent that can cast spells only in times they could cast a sorcery. So that's a nice one there. Oh, we got a Flicker Wisp in the old border. So there's our first mythic, actually, is a good old Teferi Mage of Zelfia. I could have sworn that one was printed at a lower ready in another reprint set, but I might be misremembering. It wouldn't be the first time I've misremembered. See the whole Ad Nauseam struggle there. But yeah, there's so many different, mechanics in the set. Momentary Blink. Alright, our first uncommon is Firemaw Kavu. Got Fury Sliver. Rift-Marked Knight. And our rare is Pact of Negation. So for 0 mana, you get an instant counter target spell. Then your next upkeep, you pay 3 and 2 blue. If you don't, you lose the game. Oh, and we got Thoughtseize. That looks really nice in that old frame. Actually, something to note with these old borders. There's no real rarity marker on these old borders. It's kind of similar to the list cards that we've been seeing in some of the collections, or even mystery boosters. There's no real rarity, so everything that you see in these old frames, there's no real rarity attached to them. So got Stronghold Rats, Harmonic Sliver, Premature Burial, and our rare is Glittering Wish, which is a nice one. So it's a sorcery for green and a white. You may reveal a multicolored card you own from outside the game and put into your hand. Exile Glittering Wish, which is a part of a lot of combo decks, especially in the older formats that you go to. We got a Crystal Shard, which does a lot of work. If you see this card, please play it. It does a lot more work than what the card on the face says that you can do. And we got a Stronghold Rats. Shadow was a mechanic where it basically created a second battlefield. It's probably the best way I can describe it. Where creatures with Shadow could only interact with other creatures with Shadow. So we got some Slivers, some Goblins, Green Sliver that gives haste. Sangrophage is an old creature that, was part of the black aggressive decks. Got a nice old Ancient Grudge, Germhide Sliver. Alright, so here's our first uncommon. So we've got a Phantom Worm, Dune Rider Outlaw, Lightning X, added uncommon for this set. And our rare is Stuffy Doll. So for 5 mana, you get an artifact creature construct. It has indestructible. As it enters the battlefield, you choose a player. When it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to the chosen player, and you can tap to have it deal 1 damage to itself. We've got Zulaport Cutthroat in the old frame, and a Saproling. Yeah, so like I said, it's some real cool stuff. Like Time Spiral Block was long before I started playing, so a lot of these cards are in fact brand new to me. So it's kind of cool to sort of see where Magic has been and sort of like draw the lines, I guess, to where some of this stuff has actually become a thing in Magic now. Whipspine Drake is our first uncommon. Conflagrate is our second uncommon. Our third uncommon is Salt Crusted Step, and our rare is Aeon Chronicler. So for 3 and 2 blue, you get a creature avatar. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your hand. Suspend X for X3 in blue, and it can't be 0. Whenever a time counter is removed from Aeon Chronicler while it's exiled, draw a card. Hey! Ajani's Pride Mate in the old frame. This could be replacing my Ajani's Pride Mates that I've got in my Modern Solstice deck. I might need to get some more of these later, because I am an unapologetic Solstices nerd. I love the deck. Even when it's not good, I love the deck. It's not even a good deck at best of times, but man, people underestimate that deck whenever I play it, because I'm constantly tinkering with it. Madness was, like I said, I think a mechanic that cared if you discarded the card. There's so many things here. Alright, so our first uncommon is Griffin Guide. Second uncommon is Faceless Devourer. Third uncommon is Stormfront Riders. And our rare is the Thelonic Hermit. So for 3 and a green, you get a creature Elf Shaman. All Saprolings get +1/+1. It's a 1/1. You can morph it for 3 and 2 green. And when you turn it face up, you create 4 1/1 green Sapling creature tokens. This, I believe, is a callback to the Hermit that cares about squirrels, or is it a call forward? I can't remember. Oh, and Thraben Spectre in the old frame there. And we got a Blade of the Sixth Pride in foil. We got a 1/1 soldier. Oh, that one's already open. Alright. Rebels were their own thing. Oh, Chromatic Star with some sweet brand new artwork. Mana Tithe, the good old counterspell in white. Yes, white can counter spells. Wizards. Pognify is our first uncommon. Second uncommon is a Riptide Pilferer. Third uncommon is Keen Sense, and our rare is Draining Well. So for those who can't afford mana drains, this is as good as you're going to get. So 4 and 2 blue, you get a Creature Illusion. It's a 1/1 with Flash and Flying. When it enters the battlefield, you counter target spell, put X +1/+1 counters on Draining Well, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. And we've got a Panharmonicon in the old border frame there. Seth, please call me. We've got a foil Deadly Grub and an Assembly Worker. Alright. So we've got our commons here. Utopia Vow's pretty interesting. Alright, so here's our uncommons. We've got Sudden Death, Llanowar Mentor, which makes Llanowar Elves, Haze of Rage, And our rare is Periphery Node, so this is pretty neat. So for a single white, you get an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, destroy the creature with the least power. It can't be regenerated. If 2 or more creatures are tied for the least power, you choose one of them. When there are no creatures on the battlefield, you sacrifice Periphery Nodes. Ooh, and we got a Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker with the original Pete Venters artwork in the old frame. I don't know how if I would have liked it. I don't think I would have liked if they used the new current art for Kiki Jiki with this frame, because I don't think it would have worked, but I'm happy they use the old Pete Venters artwork. So it just looks like he belongs in the Dragon Ball universe a little bit. Alright. Alright, first uncommon is Return to Dust. Second uncommon is Stormcloud Dijin. Third uncommon is Utopia Mycon. And our rare is Flagstones of Trokia. This is actually a land I love playing in Soul Sisters. So it's a legendary land. It taps to add white. When it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you may search your library for a plains card, put it into the battlefield, tapped, and then shuffle your library. What I like doing with this is targeting it with my own Ghost Quarters or Field of Ruins. And then, kind of ramping myself up in white. Ooh, and we've got an Ancient Stirrings in the old frame as well. Nice. I like these old frames. I kind of want them back. You know? And this is coming from someone who doesn't, have really any nostalgia for the old frames. There's just something about these old frames that just make cards look really interesting to me. And like I said, I was not around for the old frames, so I don't really have any, sort of feeling for it one way or the other, but I like these old frames, and the way that the foils look on them is really cool. Alright, so first uncommon is Dreadsheep Reef. Second uncommon is Storm Entity. Third uncommon is Sudden Death, and our rare is Life and Limb. All forest and saplings are 1/1 green sapling creatures and forest lands in addition to their other types. It's an enchantment for 3 and a green, and our rare, our old frame card is Corsair of Crucifix. Nice, and a goblin token. Oh, we got to Think Twice with some sweet, sweet brand new artwork. Got a Dead and Gone. Alright, here's our uncommons. We've got a Fungal Reaches. Stonecloaker, which I believe you can do some tricky things with it and combo. You can do some tricky combo things with it. Timebender is our third uncommon, and our rare is Summoner's Pass. So for those who like to play Titan, you know what this card does. For 0 mana, you get an instant, search your library for a green creature card, reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. At the beginning of your next upkeep, pay 2 and 2 green. If you don't, you lose the game. And we got Relentless Rats in the old frame. Cool. Cool. And a Griffin. And let's see what else we've got here. Alright. So we've got a Delay, Imperiosaur, Muckdrub, and our rare is Palmolic Silver. So for 3 and 2 white, you get a Sliver. It's a Silver of 3/3. All Slivers have flying. All Slivers have this permanent when you put into a graveyard, you may put it on top of its owner's library instead. And we've got a Roundup Ruins for the card in the old frame. Got Llanowar Elves token. Simeon Spirit Guide again, being banned in Modern. Alright. First uncommon is Careful Consideration. Second uncommon is Timebender. Third uncommon is Henchfiend of Ukor. And our rare is actually a mythic. It's a Chroma's Memorial. So for 7 mana, you get a legendary artifact. Creatures you control have flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, and protection from red and from black. Ooh, I'm going to Tide Hollow Sculler in that cool frame. Some of these cards just, I think, really suit this old frame treatment. I'd be happy if they brought it back permanently, honestly. Alright, so our commons. Kickers here, there's so many different mechanics here. Alright, so we got Dark Heart Sliver, which is our first uncommon. Second uncommon is Firewake Sliver. Third uncommon is Cloud Cedar. And our rare is Megara of Corridor with, again, some brand new artwork. So for 1 and 2 white, you get a legendary creature, human wizard. Tap, exile Megara of Corridor, and target permanent. There is a timing window, which I believe you can use this ability and just sort of abuse it. And make sure that Megara is always around. Oh, we've got a Mold Drifter in that old frame. Cool. And we've got a Guy's Anthem as our foil there. Yeah, I believe there's some tricks you can do with Mangara to, keep the Mangara but still get the exiled thing that you want. Alright, so we've got a Sliversmith, Arcblade, a Thick-Skinned Goblin, and our rare is Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. So it's a legendary land. Each land is a swamp in addition to its other land types. Oh, and we get a Cloud Shredder Sliver as well. Cool. I actually kind of like a lot of the cards that they chose for this, for the old frame treatment. All of these cards have seen play in some tournament at some point in its history. Or they're fan favourites for one reason or another. Got Wipe Away, Firewake Sliver, Trump the Domains, and our rare is Sword Pack. So I think we've nearly hit. I don't know what the white pack does. I know the red pack makes a 4/4, but I think we've nearly hit all the good packs in this box, which is nice. So Slaughter Pact, it's an instant destroy target non-black creature. It means your next upkeep pay 2 and a black. If you don't, you lose the game. Oh, and we got a Baral, Chief of Compliance in that old border, and a Soldier. All right. Oh, we got Logic Knot with some sweet brand new artwork. Virulent Sliver gives Slivers poisonous. Alright, so our first uncommon is a Might Sliver. Second uncommon is a Calciform Pools. Third uncommon is a Skittering Monstrosity. And our rare is Fungus Sliver. So for 3 and a green, you get a creature Fungus Sliver. All Slivers creatures have, whenever this creature is dealt damage, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It is a 2/2. Oh, we got an Ancient Den. We got one of the artifact lands right here. And we've got Strength in Numbers as our foil. Tendrils of Corruption. Alright. First uncommon is a Basalt Gargoyle. Second uncommon is Joda's Avenger. Third uncommon is a Riftwing Cloudskate. And our rare is Miri the Curse, again with some brand new artwork. So for 2 and 2 black, you get a legendary creature Vampire Cat. It's a 3/2 with Flying, First Strike, and Haste. When it deals combat damage to a creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Miri the Cursed. Oh, and we have a Talrand Sky Summoner in the old border. And another Knight. Alright. Time Bug is pretty cool. We've got a Croson Grip, Calciform Pools, Delay, and our rare is Cloud Key. So Cloud Key, 3 mana. It's an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, choose artifact, creature, enchantment, instant, or sorcery. Spells you cast of the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. Oh, we have Lavinia, Azorius Renegade in that old border. And we've got a Spider. Alright, let's go through all these. Alright. Got Lightning Axe, Clockwork Hydra, Duskrai Peregrine, and our rare is actually another mythic. It's a Chroma Angel of Fury. So for 5 and triple red, you get a legendary creature Angel. It's a 6/6 which can't be countered. Flying, trample, protection from white and blue. For a single red, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and you can morph it for 3 and triple red. We've got a Slimefoot in the old frame. Hey buddy, hey little buddy. Oh, we've got a foil Stonecloaker and the Sapling. And let's break this one. Alright, so our first uncommon is a Shaper Parasite. Second uncommon is Street Wraith, which there's some brand new artwork. I don't know if I like this artwork more than the original though. I'm kind of undecided. Third uncommon is Maya Boa. And our rare is another mythic. It's Crovax Ascended Hero. For 4 and 2 white, you get a legendary creature Human Noble. It's a 4/4. Other white creatures get +1/+1. Non-white creatures get -1/-1. Play 2 life to return Crovax Ascended Hero to its owner's hand. And we got a Laboratory Maniac in the original frame too. For a card that's usually a one-of in a lot of decks, this is actually a neat one to have. Alright. Alright, so our first uncommon is Protocol Pyromancer. Second uncommon is Crozen Grip. Third uncommon is Spone Sower Thallid. And our rare is another good land. It's Dryad Arbor. So it's a land creature forest dryad. It isn't a spell and it's affected by summoning sickness. And it has tap to add green, which is cool. I think this is my first copy of Dryad Arbor I've ever owned. And we've got a Become Immense in the old frame. And we've got a foil Feldon of the Third Path for all those Commander players out there. I can't get over how nice that looks. Like, something about these old frames just hit better. Like, you look at the old, like the foils for like in the new current frame. Then you look at it in the old frame. Like, it's almost like night and day with some of them. Alright, first uncommon is a Keen Sense. Second uncommon is Assault Blast. Third uncommon is a Basalt Gargoyle, and our rare is High Arcanist. So for 5 and a white and a blue, you get a legendary creature Human Wizard. It's a 3/5 with Vigilance. You can tap to untap a target attacking creature, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to and dealt by that creature this turn, and you can suspend it for white and a blue. Got a Disdainful Stroke in the old border, and a Sangrophage in foil. Like, look at this. So, as I was talking about just before, look at the foiling on, the new current frame, alright? Then you compare it to, like, this old border. Something about this old border hits differently for me for some reason. I can't describe it in any other way that makes sense. Like, and like I said, this is coming from someone who has no real attachment to old border magic. Like, you own a couple of old border cards, but again, this is coming from someone who has no real attachment to that old look of magic. Outrider in Core, Mycologist, Big Game Hunter, and our rare is Safi Ericssot, again with some brand new artwork. So for a green and a white, you get a legendary creature Human Scout. It's a 2/2. Sacrifice Safi Extrata. When target creature is put into your graveyard this turn, return that card to the battlefield. Got an Everflowing Chalice as our Time Shifter card, and a Goblin token. And this is the last pack, guys. This has been a pretty cool box. Actually, I've really enjoyed it. Okay, there we go. So we'll go through our commons real quick. I normally would have a draft story, but unfortunately when this set came out, I had to go out of town, so I actually missed the draft. I've got Physis, Bonded Fetch, Whipspine Drake, and our rare is a Lotus Bloom, which I'll show you sort of left and right, is the buy box promo if you decide to buy this card. So you know what I mean? It just hits different somehow. Lotus Bloom, it's a free artifact which you can suspend for 3 for free. 3 for free. Then you can tap and sacrifice Lotus Bloom, add 3 mana of any one colour. Hey, we got a big old Primeval Titan right there. That's a nice way to sort of end this box. Anyway, guys, as you can see, that was, in fact, the last pack of this box. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that, I'd be able to tell a few more stories about this set at some point. If I do happen to get time to get another box, I won't make any promises. But yeah, don't forget to like, share, favourite, and subscribe. It lets people know that I exist and that I'm making content. You can follow me on Twitter, links are down below. Also, you can find myself at the Planeswalker Pantheon. I keep saying I want to do content there, but I've just been so busy lately that I haven't found time to actually pin down time to do content there. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.